Here. Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a long time since we all kind of met. So, Caroline, just to kind of clue you in, Alyssa Rulison is on this call as well with her team, and we're on the same team, and we've kind of been working together with the whole UK launch, and we all met up together and hung out together in London. So we thought it'd be cool to have you on to talk to both of our teams together. And kind of go from there. So we're going to do a couple of announcements first, and then we'll let you take the stage. Does that work?
Yeah, good.
All right. Alyssa, do you want to kick it off? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
So let's see. Team Cup. If you're not on a Team Cup team already, registration, I believe, ends the 31st of January. I know they've done a couple videos in the Corporate Ran UK page. So if you're not familiar with Team Cup, ask Brooke or I, watch those videos. It's really just a fun way to work with people within your team, or if you need to search outside for your team. So like if we can't fill teams like my team, maybe Brooke, we can get some people together, like, and you all work to Success Club together to earn team prizes and stuff. But it's just a fun way to all basically work together and support each other, in short, versus, you know, kind of going at things alone each month.
And on that, I don't know the exact statistic, but they've said, what is the like growth average? It's like 2 times the growth or something if you're in a Team Cup team. So it's definitely worth it to do it and to meet people and to work together as a team. It's really fun.
Well, I mean, look at Michael, for example. It's like that November to Remember, but instead of 2 people, it's 5 people. And he had a phenomenal month and motivation that month. So take that and put it in a group of 5, and you're doing the exact same thing like we did in November to Remember. We also have summit tickets. They are still at a reduced price. So if you want to come to Indy and join Brooke and I there, I believe they're reduced price, but they're not refundable or transferable. So you can do that. And there are still some incentives to earn bonus points, which can get you extra money to help you with your flight over and your travels. So I do not have the FAQ on that in front of me at the moment, but you can look into that if Summit is something that you want to do. It is something that should be on your list. Like, Summit is a game changer for a lot of coaches, just to be around other people with the same positive vibes and energy. It's amazing to see the streets shut down and 30,000 people working out at the same time. It's a sight that you just can't even imagine until you're there and you see it for yourself. Do you have anything to say about?
So much fun too. And I remember my first summit, I was like, oh, I can't afford it. We have vacation, we have this, I don't want to take off work, blah, blah. And we packed like 5 people in a hotel room, and it was awesome. We had, you know, so much fun, and you just get to hang out with the team, and you're literally in a small place, like a small little city with 30,000 people that are so happy and positive and excited about everything. So if you can get to Summit, put it on your list, make it happen. You have from now until then to save money for it. It's totally possible to pay for it completely by then.
Yes.
Sorry, Alyssa, I just keep chiming in.
The other announcement we had, one of the other announcements is we kind of already saw Michael's baby. Congrats to Michael on his
Woo!
So cute.
Thank you, guys.
We're happy for you, and I'm sure you are wanting some sleep, but you know that will all get better. A little bit more time. Some other things I just wanted to share with you guys. I shared this briefly. I was on a mastermind call with Jeff Hill and Arnaud and SJ and a lot of other leaders that were over in the UK when Brooke and I were there for the launch. And they just wanted to see how things were going and share some best practices of what they've seen. So the one thing that they did say is those coaches who are having the best results over in the UK are getting out into their community and doing what we call like the 3 feet rule. So they're getting within 3 feet of someone and having those conversations and not just solely relying on their social media. They're getting creative and thinking outside the box rather than just go through social media platforms. They also said that PD is something that's non-negotiable. It should be done at a 10x level. We realize that with being founding UK coaches, there's great potential, right? Because it's brand new. So no one's going to know about it unless you talk to them about it. And that means one of two things. They could say yes and get on board, or they could say no because it's still new and they're unsure. So with that and those no's and those rejections and things like that, and so you don't get caught up in the comparison game of coaches who have really been prepping for this for years, like those master trainers, people that are star diamond coaches already. They didn't start in September, August of last year. They started like 2 years ago or more. And it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see what that comparison game. PD is sorry, I thought I was muted there for a second. PD is huge, so we want to make sure we're doing that at a 10x level. And let's see, instead, something Brooke and I also talked about and we agreed upon is, rather than trying to go for challenge pack and go for something that's 160 pounds right off the gate after you've built relationships and talk to people about their goals and their health and fitness, ease in with a 38 pound quarterly bod subscription, or approach them with Clean Week or the Shakeology sample pack. Rather than going in for the challenge pack, which we all know is great because it gives you fitness and nutrition, we can start smaller and build trust that way. And SJ was saying that she told people that as well. And when she did, she thought people felt like it was like Christmas morning, giving her blessing to say,
hey, honey, what's up?
So we are going to be focusing a little bit more on PV rather than Success Club. So, don't get hung up on Success Club.
All right, thank
you. Goal to shoot for. Don't get us wrong. Success Club is still important, but we also recognize this is new and challenging, and we may need to find a different way to go about things in the UK. It's a totally different culture and brand new. So shoot for 500 PV a month, and every product has a PV value. Shakeology is 90. Challenge packs are, I don't even know. It just kind of depends on the value of what you're getting. So there is that.
Can I chime in on that real quick? So I want to give a huge shout out to Caroline, because she's running a challenge group right now, and she has let people in there that have been runners or CrossFit people or whatever they're doing. So good job, Caroline. But, obviously I've been doing this for almost 4 years, so it's hard for me to remember exactly how it was when I started. But when I started thinking about it, when Alyssa and I were talking about this, my first challenge groups, you guys, for like the first 6 to 8 months, I want to say, were really just about building that community. Sure, there was people doing 21-day fixed challenge packs and all that good stuff, but over here, people have heard of Beachbody, and they've heard of Autumn, and they've heard of all those things, so it's a little bit, more of a familiar name. But for a while, I was adding people in my challenge groups that were doing running, or they were trying to do a couch to 5K, or they were just trying to eat healthy, or basically, they just wanted that support, and we were trying to build that community around it. So definitely, we're always want the challenge pack, because that's the full solution to everything, right? And we know that it works when they're doing everything in the challenge pack. But if people are not, if they're balking at the price, or they think it's too much, or you're getting too much pushback, you definitely want to get them into the community rather than nothing. So even if you have to run 2 challenge groups, or work together and run one where people are doing programs and one where you're just focusing on building a community, do that. Do whatever you think it needs to take. And I remember one time I did like a 30-day ab challenge and got so many people involved in that. And it was just like an exciting, fun thing. And that gave me like 400 people to go back and talk to throughout the next couple months. So just think of it more like building your community, and maybe it takes a little bit longer to get people into a challenge pack challenge group, but that's okay, because they're going to trust you, and they're going to really feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, that's a great point. And for me personally, I know if someone gets like just bod for 3 months, I'll put them in my community, my like full on challenge group. And maybe if someone gets a free 2-week trial, you put them in there as well. So they see that community. They see other challengers talking about Shakeology, talking about Energize. So they see other people are doing this too. It's not just Alyssa. It's not just Brooke or the coach that invited me. Let your other challengers kind of do that advertising for you. Yep. And then the last thing that we talked about in that meeting is, this is brand new. Every month, every year, we're going to get stronger and better. And it's going to take time. This isn't a get rich quick like thing, just like it's not a lose weight fast thing. it takes time, and those coaches who have been here over time are the ones that will see that pay off. So that's all I have on that.
Awesome. So we'll do some Q&A at the end, but we want to go ahead and let the lady of the night take the stage because, you guys, this is Caroline Glenn. She went diamond her first week in the business, and she's the top UK coach on the top team in the network. So if you put two and two together, she just went through a new coach training from Melanie Mitro. So, get your notebook ready, get ready to ask questions, and we'll see if she has some time at the end. But definitely listen to what she has to say because she just is in the same boat as you guys. She just got started and she's having some success. So let's figure out how she's doing that. Go ahead, Caroline, take it away.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so I'll kind of go back a bit and kind of start with my story at the beginning to just kind of give you a bit of a backstory. So my kind of journey with Beachbody started probably about 5 years ago. Like so many UK people, it started with Insanity. Seen the infomercial, and this is a way I kind of relate it back to my customers because I watched that Insanity infomercial for 2 years before I bought it. So, when people keep telling you no, 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 it took me 2 years before I was like, I am going to buy that, I am going to try that, and then I never looked back. So that was kind of where it started for me. I didn't know anything about coaching. I didn't even know coaching existed when I bought Insanity. But I did it for one round. And then when I went to do my second round on Facebook, I seen all these posts coming up and about accountability and just people chatting about groups. And I was just curious. And then I started following like coaches, and I just I like to follow and add friends to, to people that were like me. And so Melanie Mitro stood out to me because she was very similar to me. She has children. I have a son. He's 11 now. She's kind of similar age to me, just kind of this similar interest. And when I did start following her, she wasn't top coach when I started following her. So that's like not the reason I started following her. I just felt a connection to her. So, and then I kind of reached out to her, and she was so kind. She put me in our challenge group, even though it was from the UK and I couldn't buy anything from her. She couldn't make any money out of me, right? Because I couldn't buy anything because 4 or 5 years ago it wasn't here yet. So she put me in our challenge group, and that's when I was like, oh, coaching, what is this? I want to be part of that, okay? And then I started to see Summit, and this is like when it totally like drew me in, and I was like, I need to be there. So every few months I used to message her, and I've been doing this for like the last 3-4 years. Is coaching coming to the UK? Is it coming to the UK? And she'd always be like, one day it will come. And so kind of with that knowledge, knowing that it would come here one day, I thought, okay, I'm going to start running my Facebook as if it were already here, as if I was already a coach. So, when Brooke says that when coaching came here and I went diamond kind of straight away, that wasn't an instant thing for me. I have had my like page. I don't know if you all have like pages, but I have had my like page for over 3 years now. And I've been sharing my workouts, probably on my personal page as well, for over 3 years now. And at first, I don't know about you guys, but at first to me, I was like, oh, I was doing it all on my like page, but I get more traction and I get more interaction on my personal page. So I was like, right, I'm just going to have to suck it up, pull the big girl pants on, and I'm going to post, get over that, because initially I was like, oh, people are going to think, what is this girl doing? Why is she like bouncing about in our living room and posting it all day? Oh my, I just kind of got over that and posted it and kind of shared my journey and shared how I was eating healthy. But I have been doing that a long time, so I don't want you to get overwhelmed and maybe think, well, how did she do it? I have been running my Facebook page for 3 years in my head as if I was kind of already a coach. So, it does take that bit of time. And I'm just going to kind of share what I do every day and kind of what I find works for me. So I do set myself what they call business hours. So I'll get up in the morning, and before I kind of do anything, before I do my workout, it's probably only about half an hour to 45 minutes I have on the power hour. So I will sit down, I'll open my laptop, I will do the invite, and I'll get that out straight, that Eat That Frog, right? I don't know if you've read that book, but that's the bit. And I still don't really enjoy doing that. No, I don't know. I think nobody really enjoys doing that, but I do it and I get it kind of out the way. And at first, I was just kind of sending invites, and that was kind of, people were still interested. But I have found, if you do conversations, if you just go back and forward with somebody, and it can have nothing to do with fitness, I'm just kind of like chatting to them about. In fact, today it was one of the mums that I was at school with, and I noticed she'd moved house. So and I know she's been interested in my groups before, so I was just like, oh, I see you've moved to it's a place in Scotland, Inverness, but it's quite far away. Oh, I see you've moved. Are you settling in? Okay, just to get that conversation, just so they know I'm not, come and join my challenge group. Would you like more information on my next challenge group? And they're like, but you haven't spoke to me for 6 months. Why you have to kind of get that flow and be really interested in them. So that kind of works for me. And just do my 4 vitals every day. So you're inviting, being a product of the product. So I work out every morning. Morning's my thing. And I share that. I share that on social media. I share that in my most active on my, this just works for me, my Facebook personal page. And I'm really, really into IG stories at the moment. It's kind of blowing up at the moment. If you're not on IG stories, you have to get over there. It's kind of the best at the moment. It used to be Snapchat, but I haven't done Snapchat for over 6 months now. So they're my 2 favorites at the moment. So that is my product of the product. Share my workout every day. I do on IG stories, I share my Shakeology every day, but I don't hold up go, look at my Shakeology. Sometimes now and again, I'll kind of talk about it. But sometimes I'll just have, it's an IG story thing I do. I stir it into my oats in the morning, and then I just put like little thing like, oh, my chocolate superfood with my warm oats, and you do like one of them boomerang things. But I kind of do that every day to let them know I work out every day, I eat healthy every day. And I kind of share that and tweak that. You try not to keep it the same because you don't want to become background noise. People, there she is again, posting our workout again. So I like to maybe do a little story behind it, because even though I've been working out every day for the last 4 years, I don't spring out of bed and be like, yeah, let's go work out. I'm like, oh my God, it's 6 o'clock, it's so early, I don't want to get out of bed. And I share tips. Like one of my top tips is I sleep in my workout clothes quite a lot. So the night before, I'll do a little picture sleeping in my workout clothes. This is my top tip. I roll out of bed in the morning and I just go and do my workout, and that helps. Now you don't have to think about it. So I do little stories behind my posts, but I'm very, very consistent with that every day. Workout. Healthy eating, and then personal development every day. I don't have time to read. But the thing is, I love reading, but just busy. So Audible is huge. If you don't have it, go and get Audible. I think it's $7.99 a month, and you get 1 credit, so you get 1 book every month. What am I reading at the moment? The Miracle Morning. So that's made me get my butt out of bed even earlier than I normally do, but it is good because you get that kind of what you need to kind of get. You get focused in the morning and get that out of the way. But my other favorite book to listen to, because on Audible, even though it's really good, I find some books are boring. They bore me. It's like they have monotone. But one to listen to, put on your list, is the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. He has such passion in his voice when he's talking. He really makes you want to be like, oh, this man, in the whole book, for 4 hours, he is just the passion in his voice. He really makes you I want to go and do this. So the 10X Rule, that's a really good one for Audible. And then recognize people like in my challenge groups, because sometimes I find this the hardest behavior is because I'm like, oh, and sometimes that makes me a little bit uncomfortable because I don't want to single people out and then maybe make other people feel like, oh, why didn't I was doing good, why didn't they kind of like me? So tonight in my challenge group for the first week of 80-day obsession, I was just like, I'm so proud of everyone for showing up, and yeah, he's excited kind of for week 2, and just cheer them on a bit, and because everyone likes to feel like they're doing really well and that you're noticing that they're doing really well. So that's kind of what I would do. And I'm just I'm very, very consistent. I'm very engaging. I answer every single comment on my Facebook. It doesn't matter what they've put. Even if they gave me a compliment, I'll just be like, oh, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Or if they ask me a question, I'll reply, but every single comment, and that will drive up your Facebook. I think it's to do with the algorithms, but the more comments that you have, the more your posts are going to show up on Facebook. And ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. I actually find they're the best posts when you ask questions, and it doesn't have to be fitness related or healthy eating related. A post that I did a while ago that got a really, really good comments, there's probably over 100 comments, was what if you could go without for like a year, what would you choose? And what, because these are my 2 favorite things and everybody knows this, red wine or chocolate. And they got over like 100 comments, and every single comment I would reply back, so it probably bumped it up to nearly 200 comments. But that is like driving traffic kind of to your page. So it's just little ideas like that to kind of to keep people coming and you showing up on timelines. And don't be scared to do call to action. Ask people if they want more information. Ask them if you would mind, or take it off, if you don't want them to comment. A lot of people don't like putting their information there. Take it off to like private chat if they want more information, but and I'll always answer with a comment. I'll just send you a direct message, and take it offline. And then I usually ask for their email address instead of doing everything, because I do like Messenger, but it can get a bit messy and you can kind of lose people in Messenger. So always ask for their kind of email to kind of take off Messenger, and do that. And I use Streak as well. I don't know if a lot of you use Streak. That does take a little bit of time to get your head around Streak, but I find Streak really, really good to send like mass emails to people, just for maybe like monthly newsletters to let them know kind of what challenge groups are coming up. You can send like 100 emails at once, and the good thing is that people don't know that it's a mass email either, so it's kind of like a personal one, even though it's like 100 at the same time. So if you can kind of get your head around Streak, there is tutorials on YouTube. There is one, I can't remember her name, and she's somebody Lippo. Is it Brooke Lippo? Is it
Brooke Lepoff? Yeah, Lipoff.
Yep, that's her name. She's really, really good and just kind of explains how to do it. That's how I learned. So I watched her and then just kind of gave myself a few hours kind of understand it, but it is definitely worth going into that. Okay, so I've got my notes here. I don't want to miss anything out. Okay, so and another a really good thing to think of when you're trying to find your target kind of audience, because I was a bit like that, and because when this is all new to you, I was like this. You kind of like try and please everyone, because I was like that. It's like, okay, right, I have to kind of get people in, right? Okay, I'll just kind of. And I'm like this, and I'm actually just learning now to kind of focus it down to kind of my people, the people who I kind of want to speak to, and that should be the people that are just like you. So when you look, and somebody said this the other day, and it really struck a chord with me. If you look through your Facebook or look through your Instagram, would you like you? And I was like, that is so good. Like if you look through your Facebook personal page, or if you have a like page, and it's boring or it's the same old, then other people are not going to like it either. So, and I was like, that is that really struck a chord with me. So go back and look through your profiles, look through your timeline and think, is that the kind of person that I would be attracted to? Because that's what you want. That's like your target kind of audience. And another thing to think of is the person that you're speaking to should really be the person that you were before Beachbody. So why did you come into this? My story is I came into this because I was just fed up with myself. I wasn't massively overweight, or I was just uncomfortable. I had a small son at home. The gym wasn't an option for me because I had no childcare. I just had enough. I wanted something. I needed something. And that's kind of the person that I try and speak to. The person that I was before Beachbody, and the people that are like me. You know, and post about things that are interesting to you. And I struggled with this a bit in the beginning because, as I said, I was kind of like trying to appeal to everyone. But my things and the things that I post about is food. I love food. Red wine, because that's a huge thing with me. Not at the moment. On 80-day obsession, I've actually drank kombucha. I don't even know if that's on the plan. Yeah, so and I share that, like, oh my god, I'm really struggling. Saturday night, which was last night, I'm usually always like, yeah, red wine night, but last night I was like, sparkling water, but I had it in a wine glass, and I was like, but I still got it in a wine glass, and kind of share that. And my son, he's a huge part of my life. He's a huge part of why I do this, and he's in loads of my posts. And then my fitness. So that's mostly kind of what I talk about, and that's the people that I appeal to, like people that are like me. So, okay, and another thing with your Facebook and your Instagram, a top tip would be, if you haven't already, your profile picture. Mine used to be, before I was coaching, it was my son and I, like a picture of us both. But now it is just me, and I struggle to do that because he's such a big part of my life. But I'm like, no, you know, I'm going to make it's just me, just my face, that is it. And that's what I would recommend that you do that. And your banner as well. I make mine on Canva. I think other people use PicMonkey, but Canva's my choice. I really like Canva. And mine, in fact, I have to change it. I've had it up for quite a while now, but it's just 4 pictures. It's like a little collage, and it's me. If you look at that banner, that is me. There's a picture of me, like, I think it was that Shaun T thing, and I'm working out, Shaun T. Another one is on holiday because I love the sun, me and my son in Florida. And another one I think is, I can't remember, it's maybe just me with a glass of wine, but that banner represents me. So when you look at that face, that is me. So, or family, you know, but just pick 3 or 4 things that is you, and that should, so when people see their timeline, they get you, they know what you're kind of all about. And I use Snapseed. I wanted to tell you about that one. For your pictures, you want really clean, crisp pictures, especially if you're for Instagram. Instagram is just not IG stories, that's totally different. But if you're on Instagram, they need to be really crisp and sharp because it's just pictures. And Snapseed is like my top one. It could make every line disappear. It's like magic. I love Snapseed. And then people see me in real life and they're like, you don't look like that in your pictures. No. And do you know what's really bad? I'm going to kind of say people, you can even whiten your teeth. And I did that, and a girl commented, and she went, oh my god, your teeth are so white. And I'm like, thank you. But anyway, Snapseed, that is like the one I use all the time. So what else did I want to share with you? Yeah, when people ask you for information, I use my the videos from the Coach Office and the shareable media. I use them all the time, especially when people have never, because it's so new here. People I still come across so many people and they have no idea what Beachbody is. They've usually heard of Insanity because that is quite big here in the UK, but they have no idea what Beachbody is. They have no idea what Shakeology is, and they're like, I don't do shakes. And there's a couple of really good videos on Shakeology, and I'll be like, oh cool, do you mind if I like send you a little video just explaining what it is? And I'll send that I think there's a really short one, I think, by Isabel, and then there's a longer one by Darren. And I'll just kind of send them that and then kind of follow up, say, oh, what did you think about that? But those videos are really, really good. And use your Coach Office a lot, because I used to send everybody YouTube links, but Coach Office is amazing. It has so much really good links in there, especially the video ones that you could send. Like, they've got really good challenge pack ones, they have bod ones, they have Shakeology ones. Even people that are interested in coaching, they have like what is Team Beachbody, and they have little coaching ones down the bottom as well. And another thing which I haven't done yet, but I am going to do, I'm going to pull my big girl pants up and do it. I have never done my own sneak peek into coaching, but I'm doing that. I'm going to do it. I'm like a little bit scared, I have to admit, because I've never done it before. I've always kind of joined in with my upline and did it, and I've never done my own. But, you know, I've heard so many stories by US coaches that say when you run your own, that's kind of when it changes. So I'm going to kind of pull my, a little bit scared, but I'll do it, right? Because the only places you grow is when you get out that comfort zone, right? Nothing ever grows in comfort zone. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. Let me see anything that I've missed out. Oh, another really good podcast to listen to is Build Your Tribe with Chalene Johnson. I was actually listening to one today. She had a really good one I was listening to today about going live on Facebook and kind of how to capture your kind of audience straight away, you know, because a lot of people, and I'm guilty, I've done it before, you come on and it counts you down, 3, 2, 1, and then you're on, you're like, okay, I'm on. Okay, I'll just wait to see if people jump on. She's like, don't do that, because people get split. They're like, oh my gosh, you're not like, and then they'll just disappear. So yeah, definitely listen to that. It's a really good one. And go live. Go live. Don't be scared. I was terrified the first time I went live. I was like, oh my god, what if I like, I don't know what to say, and I stopped talking, and I'm like, oh, so nervous. My heart was like going over 100 miles an hour. But the more you do it, and who cares? Who cares if you kind of stumble and go wrong? Because you just have to do it. Just do it. Just do it. That's what I've got. And I think that was kind of all I had for you. I hope that all kind of made sense, and I kind of wasn't rambling a bit. But anything you want to ask or anything I missed out, Brooke?
I think that was awesome. I think that was really, really great and totally inspirational for everybody to kind of hear, you know, and I think a big thing is the comparison game, and a lot of people are comparing to these people that are going diamond and diamond and diamond. So thank you for sharing your story, and that, you know, you go 3 years back or 4 years back with Melanie and have been kind of building your brand ever since then. So it's not a race to the finish line, because we're here for a long haul. And you're headed to Summit, right?
Yeah! I've wanted to go to Summit for 5 years. Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited for you. Okay, so I mean, if anybody has questions, you can chime in. I do have one right off the bat. So I know you mentioned that a lot of people have never heard of Beachbody or never heard of Shakeology. So how do you approach them? And then what do you say? I mean, I know you said you send a video, but what if they're like, you know, they don't have any interest in any of it? Like, what's your 30-second elevator pitch kind of to say what Beachbody is?
All right. You put me on the spot. So
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I do use I would send them the little link, and then I would kind of get back to them, and like if they have any questions.
Okay, so you kind of get to the meat of the conversation in the follow-up.
Yeah, I was like, if they don't know anything about it, I'd be like, oh, do you mind if I send you like a little 2-minute?
Okay.
Just kind of explain what it is. If you have any questions, I'll follow up with you. So I use those videos a lot. Yeah, I do. And I used to, but they do help. They definitely help. Instead of, because sometimes when you explain it, people still don't understand what it is.
Right.
That's such a new concept here.
Well, it's such a big concept, so I don't know, like, what few words you would take that somebody would, you know, understand, I think.
Yeah, and then the same with challenge groups. They don't know what those are either, and they don't get it. They're like, and people, you know, and still I have like, even when I'm explaining, they're like, do you have to work out? Do we all have to work out at the same time? And do I have to be online like at the same time? And yeah, so that's why I share every day on my timeline, you know, and sometimes I'll even open up my laptop and, you know, and I'll get my phone and I'll like be on, you know, and I'll do like, the phone will be my video, and I'll have Bod up and I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna press play, and I'll go into Bod and I'll be filming it and show it, so I'm showing them exactly like for 30 seconds or whatever, like, oh, today's AD Obsession, phase 1, total body core, right, time to press play, and then that'll be like a 30-second on my IG stories or my Facebook, and just so they can visually see what it is.
Yeah.
It's strange to them because the only other maybe home workouts they've done is DVDs, so they don't, or I always explain it's like Netflix but for workouts, because everybody, so I'm like, instead of movies it's all fitness programs. And they're like,
well, you can even, when you're live on Facebook, you can show people kind of a sneak peek into your challenge group and what that's like, and show them that they can post whenever they're done or whenever works for them.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. I actually did it was kind of like a sneak peek in my IG stories to what a day is in the life of a coach. So I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh, this is how I start my day every morning. I always make hot water and lemon before I start, and then I'm like, oh, energize, and you know, and I'm taking my energize and my go-go juice, like all that, and then like off to work out. This is part of my job. Yeah, part of my job is to work out. And then I shared that and I did all that on IG stories, and then I was like, oh, just like checking in with my challengers, and I had the video on the challenge group, you know, like scrolling up, time to answer messages, time to answer emails, and I just kind of went through, so I've probably done about 20, 25 like short IG stories throughout the day just to kind of share what I did. And then, you know, at night I was like, right, my final check-in before I close the laptop down, and then I get to watch movie night with my son, and just so they kind of like could see the flow of a day. And that's what I really like about IG stories, because it could flow. It flows like you know, in your day. And then you could do the polls as well. They work really well. And then everybody that answers your poll, you could see who answered, and then you could reach out to them.
So with the IG stories, how many times a day sort of are you putting something in there?
About 20. That's what's good about IG. It's so fast. It's like, I don't know how many seconds. It might only be about 5. It's about 7 seconds, I think, per. And you can go live as well. You can go live in IG stories. I do that. I did that yesterday as well. Like I was doing my day in the life of a coach, like in the 7-second clips, and then so I also went live in the stories and kind of was like, said what, you know, what I'm enjoying about coaching, what I'm getting out of coaching, what it's done for me so far, like in the last 3 months.
And
things like that.
Are you seeing more momentum and interest from people on Insta at the minute than through Facebook?
Facebook, my Facebook personal page, I still get a lot of traction. I think, to be honest, in my opinion, I think like pages are kind of going out. I don't know if it's like Facebook are changing the algorithms or something. And I think they made an announcement last week that something was kind of happening with that. So it's kind of driving me over to IG stories. But I actually love IG stories. I have loads of fun with that. And then it has all the little stupid things like the boomerangs and stuff. So it's like not too serious. And what's good about you could see every single person that's watched your IG stories.
Yeah.
So and it tells you and you can go and see and then reach out to every person if you wanted to, because everybody comes up. Stuff on that. It's a really good one. I really think that's going to be the next big thing. And somebody who's amazing to follow on IG stories is just Hannah Jackson. She is like the queen of IG stories. Actually, when I was at the launch in London, I'd just come out the gym and she was going in, and I'm like, oh my god, you're like IG stories is so amazing. And I was standing talking to her for a bit, and she's but she was saying to me she'd studied that or something before she was a coach, like, you know, like word placement, and she knows all the, but hers, just go and follow her. She's just amazing on that. Just to give you ideas.
I wanted to say something about when she mentioned like reaching out to people who watch your stories. Don't overcomplicate that and feel like that means you have to invite them or that you have to be like, hey, I saw you're watching my story because I'm creeping on you, creeping on me. Like, we don't have to do that, but just say, hey, how have you been? Like, you see that Desmond's watching your story and you haven't talked to Desmond in 2 years, 2 months, whatever it's been. Like, you see them watch day after day, just say, hey, like say hi, start up a conversation, go to their page, see what they're doing. Like, just don't overthink it and overcomplicate it. Just get a conversation going, and who knows where that could lead.
Yeah, that's right, because it was a lady today, and I've actually invited her before to my sneak peek, because those people that you think, oh my god, you would make such a good coach, but they keep saying no thank you, no thank you. And she is actually a personal trainer, but we're kind of friends through social media, and yeah, just like she said, she posted an IG story today, and it was just our son, I think he took scissors and cut his own hair. And it was like a clump of hair, and she's like, look what my son did. And I just sent her like a message to IG stories going, oh my days, did he cut his own hair? And she's like, so we're kind of messaging back and forth, and it's just conversation. Yeah, be interested in people. Don't just be like, do you want more information on my challenge group? And they're like, oh, no. And do you know what was really good? I don't know where I heard it. I think it was one of the US coaches that must have been on a call. And this is perfect. She says, don't be the perfume lady. Like if you walk into a department store and there's and she wants you to try a perfume, and you're like, oh my god, oh no, and you put your head down, or you're like, don't come and spray me. I do not want to buy your perfume. Don't be that. Don't be that person. So yeah, just be, and that's good. That's the way. Just get conversation going, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with health and fitness. Just be interested in them. Yeah, definitely.
Another question I had is, what's the most popular excuse you're getting, other than them not knowing about Beachbody or Shakeology? What are you getting? The price, or are you getting time, or what are you getting?
The price.
And then how do you abolish that?
The price. I always try and break it down into day, and now it's even better. Now they've took the VAT off in the UK, so I think it's just over £3 a day. I'm sure £3 a day. But that's the biggest one, and another reason for that is a lot of people still don't know what it is. They just see it as another shake. It's probably the same in the US for people that don't know. I don't do shakes. That's another common one. I don't do shakes.
Right.
And I always come back with, I don't do shakes either, because I didn't. And I'm like, hand on my heart, I didn't. I have never in my life taken a shake, because it's just not my thing. I'm quite a health nut. Even way before Beachbody, I'm into like anything to do with healthy or good for your body or anything like that. So I always come back with, I don't do shakes either. I would never touch anything that wasn't, going to fuel my body the right way. And I'm like, do you know about Shakeology? Do you know anything about it? And they usually 9 times out of 10 they don't know anything about it. They've never heard of it. They don't know what it is. So that's again when you can use your little videos. And then I did a live today actually on my page. It was actually kind of like a little challenge we were doing on our Dream Team page, like go live and you have to share what Shakeology's done for you. And I'm like, okay. Because we're always kind of told, don't go like, oh, Shakeology and this is blah, blah. But they were like more than like sell it. It was just like, say what it's done for you. And I went on there and I was like, okay. And I was like, this might be too much information, but Shakeology makes me poop. And it does. And I was like, and before I took it, I used to be hugely constipated, like hugely. Sorry, got a lot of guys on here. I'm going to look really attractive now. And I just shared that, and I was like, and I could say to you, it's 70 superfoods. It's like going to the salad bar 7 times. I was like, but I'm just going to share what it did for me. I had so bad digestion. I actually went on and said this on my page. I used to have to take laxatives to go to the toilet. And since drinking Shakeology, I go to the toilet every day. And I was like, and that is not a coincidence. So, just share what it does for you. Don't just like, oh, have the Shakeology, it's amazing, it has 70 superfoods. Because I used to do that as well. I'm guilty, I used to do that. But when people can relate more if you say, this is what it has done for you, this is how it has helped me, more than like, this is what it, this is what it is. So, yeah, I think that
Absolutely. And that also, I think, helps people that are watching you and they're thinking the price is too high or the whatever. Because a lot of people, when they hear of another shake, they're just going to think that it's a protein shake, when really Shakeology is way more than that. So it's important to know a little bit about Shakeology as well. And of course, like Caroline has said a million times, there's tons of stuff in the back office on it.
Mm-hmm. And I give it to my son as well, and I share that as well.
Yeah.
My son has it every day, half a scoop every morning before school.
My daughter does too. She loves it.
And I even sneak spinach in there. He doesn't know. He knows it's Shakeology, but he loves it. He drinks it, yeah, every day as well. And I share that as well. Because it's amazing how many people say, but like, oh, but can I give it to my child? And it's true. And then I'm like, I don't say it, but you're like, but you take them to McDonald's.
Right.
Like, yeah. Or as well, it was a lady, and always say, like, for pregnant people or breastfeeding, you should ask your doctor, but it's amazing how many people get pregnant and then they just stop. And I was like, in my opinion, I would want to, I don't know if you ever come across that, and then they just stop taking it. And I have a challenger at the minute. She just gave birth the other day, actually, and she took it all the way through her pregnancy, and she's actually, I'm going to keep going, because she says it really, really helped her through her pregnancy. But and I see the top, like Lindsay Matway and Bonnie, they're pregnant and they still take it. And
yep.
Yeah. So that's what I always find a bit strange as well, when people find out they're pregnant, they just stop.
I think that again goes with education and talking to your doctor. Like it says on there, do not take if pregnant, which I think probably, it doesn't say don't take in the US. It's like consult with your doctor. So I think the labeling just has to meet the country's rules for food and regulation and stuff. But, even doctors here, the ones that say no, I think are just too afraid to okay something they don't know about, and they don't want to take the time to become educated on it. But, there's doctors that, the ones that do actually look into it and learn about it, say that it's fine. But the one thing I wanted to mention that I took away from kind of listening to what you were saying and suggest that some people, like everyone, do is go to Caroline's page and get inspired by her posts. Don't copy, but use it for inspiration. See how she's sharing things, because if we're not sharing things, we're not going to no one's gonna know what we're doing. We're not talking about it. So and find different ways to talk about it without saying those words. You don't want to say, look at my Shakeology, but go see how she's sharing it and how she's going live and talking about her workouts, because I think in the UK you do have a little bit of a advantage to being slightly more forward with things, because people don't know that you're sharing your workout because you're a coach and that they can do it too. Like I think we just automatically think that if we post something, people are going to assume we're trying to sell them something, and we get in this negative downward spiral, and that stops us from even doing it, but people aren't going to know. It's so new still that really, unless you have those conversations behind the scenes or those call to actions on your posts, they're just going to think you're just another person doing a workout on social media, so I think be a little bit more forward and just see how other top coaches in the UK are sharing that with their audience.
Yeah, so my top, the thing that's worked for me the most, I say, is top tip is be super consistent, like even when you cannot be bothered. When you cannot, because I have days like that. I'm like, what? Or sometimes I'll have days like, what will I post today? I don't know. But then I wanted to show you what. Oh yeah, just write kind of. Can you still hear me? Something funny happening. I just kind of write things down. Like I have this huge notepad, and I just kind of write things down. Like I'm running a free group as well at the moment. I did that kind of before coaching. I had a free group. I think there's about 400 people in there. And I just give free content. I just give free value. And I've actually not really put anything in it for the last few months. And I was like, right, I'm going to drive, especially for the Team Cup. you should all be doing. Yeah. For the Team Cup, I was like, right, come on, I've really got to drive this. So I'm going to start my free group up again. That kind of like a funnel for everyone that kind of says no, just kind of put them in my free group. And then I just kind of brainstorms on a huge pad, and I just kind of like, what would I like? And I always kind of take it back to me, because I'm trying to attract people that are like me. So I've got like up here, what would I like to see? Like if I was like, take myself like from the outside, if I was like scrolling and I just like was a customer challenger, whatever, what would I want to see? So for me, I would want to know like how to clean desserts. I'm such a chocolate person. I would want to know how I could clean up desserts. I've got clean desserts, but skinny cocktails. What else have I got? Just my favorite things. I do that as well, and it doesn't have to be fitness related. Like today on IG stories, I love coffee as well. My first coffee, and I was like, this is my favorite coffee, guys. And then it's just an instant coffee, but it's like a really nice one. And I was like, this is my favorite one. And I showed them what it was and the make and the brand and stuff like that. So don't make it like all about health and fitness. Kind of share just who you are and what your favorite things are, and be super consistent, because then it builds that trust. Then people start to trust you. People and people will come, instead of like coming up, they'll come to your page and like, oh, because I do that to people that I like or have a lot of common with. Instead of like, I will actually physically go to their page or I'll go to their Instagram because I want to see what they've posted that day. So yeah, that would just be my kind of top tip. Be super, super consistent, like every day. On choose your platform. At the moment, mine is Facebook personal and IG stories. That's my two that I'm kind of concentrating on at the moment. So be super consistent and just kind of focus on that person that you want to attract. So yep, that's what I got for you.
Awesome. I think that was great. Thank you so much for being on. Does anybody have anything else real quick before we let her go? So big takeaways, be at Summit, be in the Team Cup, and be consistent. I think that was awesome. Thank you so much, Caroline, and thank you everybody for getting on.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Have a great week.